Hey everyone, my name is Matt and welcome to Roads of Oz. So I had a very good question from one of my viewers on the last Darmah video, just asking a bit more about it. So probably the first question is, why a Ducati Darmah? Well, the Darmah was actually the first bike I actually rode, and I have a great photo. This photo, that's my old S2. There's a blue Ducati Darmah there. That was the first actual Ducati I actually rode, and I absolutely loved it. And that's what I wanted. I actually wanted the Darmah. It was big, comfy, sounded fantastic. But at the time there was none available, and the S2 came up and I jumped on it. So when did I get it? Well, I purchased this bike in 2007. I bought it off a collector who specialises in Ducati. He had a massive range of Ducatis. So what was my original plans for this Darmah was to fully restore it, strip it down and do like a concourse restoration. And there's one big reason I didn't do it. I'm not a perfectionist. And because the bike's, you know, it's bits of everything. There's some aftermarket bits on it. Really not the best idea to do a concourse. What I was convinced to do very early in the stage was what's called a rider's restoration. And the idea behind that is you just do enough to keep it on the road and enjoy it, so you don't get upset if it gets scratched or things get slightly damaged. It's wholly and solely for your enjoyment to ride, and that's exactly what it was. I engaged a mechanic to get it running. Spent about $1,800, and it needed it needed chain and sprockets, batteries, new tyres, and a few other little things. And that was, I think I said it earlier, that was about $1,800 to get it running. That's exactly what they done. Got it running, and the plan was to historic rego it. Due to the fact it was a 78 model, it wasn't in New South Wales. Our rego laws specify it has to be over 30 years for historic rego. So I spent the next 12 months just riding around the block, just starting it up and running it and making sure it ran fine. Didn't really go too fast on it. It was just to keep the motor turned over and running well. So back in 2008, my daughter was born, so that put it on hold a little bit. Put the bike project further on hold when we decided to build a bigger house. So we sold our house. I put this in the storage. Sadly, it wasn't good storage. I just stuck it in the back of my father's old garage. I put it under cover and thought it'd be safe there. Sadly, it wasn't. The garage flooded. A bit of damage to the bike followed on. So when I finally took it out of storage back in by 2011, it had a few issues. Just the things that failed on it because it hadn't been started in pretty much 18 months. It just been left in this garage. So once again, I took it off to the mechanics. I just gave them the brief of get it up and running. And that's exactly what they did. They sorted everything out on it, got it running. And when they rode it, they found there was an issue which they couldn't get their head around initially. They thought it might have been tyres unbalanced. It turns out the rims front and rear were buckled. Now, luckily the rims on the Ducatis, they're easy to fix. So I took it to a company over at Smithfield called Alderton Motorcycles, I think it is. And they specialise in frame straightening and rim repair. I gave it to the owner and he straightened the rims, and he said, luckily these type of rims are a soft style of rim, so they're much easier to repair. Done an excellent job, bike ran fine, and I rode it up until 2018. Just done basic oil changes on it and any other repair along the way. Alright, so what repairs have I done to it since I've had it? Well, I had all the brake lines done. They were kind of important. The last lot of brake lines were originally the originals, so they had the 1978 stamp on them. Probably best not to be using 30-odd-year-old brake lines. So I had them changed. Then I work our way around the bike. I had the regulator, the regulator packed it in, so I ended up getting it changed. And that was the last repair I done before the motor went. Moving around, I actually fixed, you can't tell because there's no battery, I actually redone these lights. I'm going to do them again. If I give this a wipe down, I had the dash repainted black and it come up brilliant. I had that done at Motortech, and they done a very good job. You'll have to excuse the dust, you can see me wiping it off, but when that's cleaned it looks fantastic. Now back when I done all this in the late 2000s, you couldn't get these lights anywhere, and they hadn't been available since the 80s. Now you can get them, they've been remanufactured. So at the time I pulled them apart, I rewired them just with a simple 12 volt, very tiny 12 volt lamps, stuck them back together and put them in. These keep pushing up, so there's too much cable there. I'm going to rewire that and make that all look neat again. The rims, now like I said earlier, they were buckled. I had them straightened. They're not the original rims. These come off an S2. I had 6 very good years of riding it, trouble-free. Rode it on a lot of large trips of approximately 1,000 kilometres. When it did break down, I was quite lucky. It broke down 5 kilometres from home after riding it for 1,000, so I can't complain there. And where are we at the moment? Well, at the moment I've saved about $1,000, just saving up steadily. Probably in the next month or two I'll start getting things done to it when I've actually got the cash to do these things. One thing you'll notice with Ducatis, nothing's ever cheap compared to like the Honda CB125. That's dirt cheap to fix, but this, whole different category, quite expensive, so it's going to take time. If you found the video interesting, please like, share and subscribe. I'll be bringing out a video as promised, one a month, giving you an update of where I'm at. Next month probably won't be getting too much done, but I'll have another good story of how an old motorcycle is a better investment than shares. Stick around for that one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next vid.